All right, welcome back. Now, Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode and his predecessor are on a war path. Over the week, the governor revealed that his administration's plan to carry out a total reconstruction of the international airport road from Oshodi was being frustrated by the Federal Ministry of Works, Power and Housing. Incidentally, that ministry is headed by the immediate past governor of Lagos State, Babatunde Fashola, the man Ambode succeeded. Governor Ambode, who addressed journalists at the Lagos House, said the present state of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport Road is a national disgrace and required immediate attention to salvage the nation's image. Now, I kind of disagree with that at all. He said the state government presently has a design for the reconstruction of the road as well as the funds to embark on the project, but that the federal government was yet to grant approval. Let's take a further listen now to the governor.
The road linking the Oshodi bridge to the international airport, you all agree with me, is a national embarrassment. In the spirit of the regeneration and the urbanization that this administration has set out to achieve, we believe strongly that the image that is exhumed by the decadence on that road must be repaired. And we took it upon ourselves to appropriate in the 2017 budget that the House of Assembly should approve the total reconstruction of the airport road from the Oshodi to the international airport. The state already has a design of 10 lanes to come from Oshodi to the international airport with interchange and flyover that will drop you towards the local airport. The contractor is already set to go and everything has been set, it has been appropriated, and we already have the cash to do it. But alas, we are having challenges with the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing and Power. This is a road that we believe is an internal road and it's not an interstate road. And the Federal Ministry of Works believe that they should do the road, but they have not been able to do it all these years past. I just want to remind Lagosians that prior to my becoming governor, the Federal Ministry of Works has been owing Lagos State a total sum of 51 billion naira as reimbursement of efforts and reconstruction that we have taken here on behalf of the federal government. So obviously what we're asking for is that whatever it is that they want to do on the airport road, the amount can never be up to the 51 billion naira they are owing us. It's only logical that they should even give us part of what they are owing us so that we can complete this construction of the airport road within a time frame of 6 months. I believe strongly that with the kind of capacity that we have in Lagos State right now, we would like to commence the construction of the airport road within the next 2 weeks, and we will finish it in 6 months. So I just want us, one way or the other, to appeal to the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing that they should let go or reimburse us with whatever it is they are owing us. And even if they are not willing to pay us now, we have the money to do the airport road. It's a national disgrace and we will not be part of it. We would like to do it and we want to do it as part of the celebration of Lagos at 50.
Now, the governor wasn't done. He also spoke about the presidential lodge in Lagos, which, of course, President Muhammadu Buhari actually approved that it should be handed over to the Lagos State government, some months back now. Now, what the Lagos State government wants to do with that lodge is to turn it into a museum to celebrate its Lagos at 50 anniversary. That's later in the year. But, of course, that property has not been handed over to the Lagos State government. Let's take a listen now to Ambode again on what he has to say about the presidential lodge.
We are just about to roll out our program of events for the celebration. But again, one of the key venues that we need to celebrate the real essence of Lagos, in the historic place where we refer to as the Presidential Lodge in Marina, is still more or less being tossed about in terms of being handed over to us. We believe strongly that May 27, 2017, we should be able to invite Mr. President and other people that have actually made Lagos to be what it is today to that Presidential Lodge for the final banquet and then the dinner that we want to have. You recall also that at a time I did announce that Mr. President, President Muhammadu Buhari, had actually approved the handing over of that Presidential Lodge 6 months ago in October. As we speak, we are yet to gain entrance into that place, and it's more or less frustrating our program for us to be able to start the celebration. So I just also want to use this is like an appeal also, to say that the approval of Mr. President should be rightly honored, and then for the agencies that are concerned, that's the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing and the Department of Security Services, they should be able to honor that approval of Mr. President. So we just believe strongly that we must proceed to be able to gain access to that place as quickly as possible so that we can roll out our program of events within the next 7 days.
Now, of course, you wouldn't expect the Minister of Works, Housing and Power to keep quiet in the face of these accusations. Babatunde Fashola issued a response 24 hours after Governor Ambode made those accusations. He said the governor simply lied over his claim that the Ministry of Works and Housing was frustrating the Lagos State government's efforts to reconstruct the road leading to the international airport in Lagos. He accused the governor of misleading the public on the actual situation of the road. Now, among other things, he said, quote, "The correct position is that the Lagos State government presented a request for 4 roads that it would wish to take over. The ministry has presented the memorandum conveying the request of the Lagos State government to the Federal Executive Council, as was done with a similar request by the Kaduna State government in 2016. Due to the fact that 2 of the roads also connect Ogun State, the Federal Executive Council could not reach an immediate decision on them because it requested the input of the other state government affected." Now, Federal Executive Council memorandum are debated and commented upon by all members, and in cases of roads, surveys, maps, and other materials have to be provided to assist members understand the location and connectivity of the roads. In this case, 4 roads, as in the case of Lagos, in order to assist how they vote on memorandum. End of quote. Now, on the Presidential Lodge, this is what the minister had to say. Now, after the approval by Mr. President that the Presidential Lodge be handed over to the state government, there was a directive to the ministry to work out the modalities for handing over. The ministry has prepared a vesting instrument to convey the transfer, and all that is needed is a survey plan. The Presidential Lodge is a high security location, and officials of the ministry also require security clearance to enter in order to do any works. Access to the lodge is not under the control of the ministry. End of quote. The minister then went on to blame the governor for any perceived lack of cooperation between his ministry and the Lagos State government. He also accused the governor of refusing to approve the request of his ministry to provide land in the state for the national housing project, adding that the governor had only spoken to him on the phone just once since he left the office of governor of the state in May 2015. That's quite shocking if you ask me. Joining me now to discuss this seemingly ugly and awkward situation is public affairs analyst Nelson Ekujimi. Nelson, thank you very much for coming on the program. This is not what you would expect, from 2 individuals now who belong to the same party, and the party is actually the party in power at the center. In the past, it used to be that Lagos State was not getting the cooperation of the federal government because the federal government was controlled by a different political party, in this case, the PDP. But now it's the same party, and then we're having this. This is quite embarrassing.
Honestly, I must confess to you, when the news broke, based on the allegation by the governor against the minister, some of us were very sad But like we say in Yoruba land, you don't listen to one party in an issue and go to judgment. You must hear the other side out. And reading the comments of the Minister for Power Works and Housing, you know, one thing I can deduce from it is that, you know, there's communication, you know, breakdown or communication gap between both parties. Because one thing we cannot take away from either Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola or Governor Ambode is that the will, the zeal to serve the people of Lagos, they have never shown any shortcoming in that regard. I also recollect that as governor of Lagos State, during his tenure, that's Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, he was very passionate about, you know, reconstruction of that road, that road is an eyesore. And for us here in Lagos, we are happy that this same, you know, spirit that look, that road has to be fixed, has also transcended into the person presently occupying that office, and that is Mr. Ambode, Ambode. And for us, I think this is the time to call on the appropriate authorities that look, we have all agreed, there's no doubt about it, whether Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola or Mr. Ambode, that there's need to fix that road. And we must, you know, implore them, you know, to ensure that whatever it takes to expedite action, because the minister has come out to, you know, make us aware that there are some processes that have to be cleared. And, you know, that is one of the problems we have with our federation, that a lot of responsibilities of the federal government have been undertaken by the state. Mr. Ambode spoke about 51 billion naira being hold, 51 billion naira being hold the Lagos State government by the federal government. You will also agree with me that that money was not owed within the last 2 years of his administration.
Of course.
It was a carryover from the previous administrations, you know, before him. And, you know, since government is a continuum, that debt is a debt that the federal government owes the people and government of Lagos.
Fashola said something like that as well.
So it behoves on us as Nigerians to admonish these are political leaders that their service is to the people and not to their political
Do you get the impression, because it's an impression I'm beginning to get, that there's an ego fight here between the governor and the minister, and you would not expect this kind of thing at all to happen between two people, where one person actually took over from the other not quite long ago. So, and that this ego fight is being allowed to now affect the state, developments in the state.
Yes, it's not, you know, it's not unnatural for you to have ego fight between, you know, persons, you know, or else we'll be denying them their humanity. Because one thing we cannot take away from, you know, this situation on ground is that these two gentlemen are human beings, and they have their own shortcomings, they have their own challenges. But be that as it may, we the citizenry, we owe it a responsibility to admonish, you know, these two gentlemen who are at the helm of our political life, that look, whatever be the issue, whatever be the communication gap that is lacking, that has come out to play in this whole issue, it is high time you come together for the collective interest of the people of Lagos and Nigeria, because it is not only the people of Lagos State that uses that international airport. It's a gateway to Nigeria. Most businesses, like Lagos is the economic capital of Nigeria, most businesses come to Lagos. So it behoves on us, like we have always admonished, that governance is not the responsibility of only people at the helm of our affairs. Even the citizenry have a role to play in admonishing people saddled with responsibility. Because like we say, eternal vigilance is the price for liberty. It behoves on us to admonish this, our political leaders, that look, at every point in time, once you are on the saddle, the interest of the people must always be uppermost.
And quite instructive for Fashola to have said, you know, that since he left office, he had not spoken with the governor of the state, that they had spoken just once on the phone.
Well, I wouldn't want to go into that, because one wouldn't know whether he has not communicated with him officially or unofficially, because if the governor has no business communicating with the governor officially, maybe that could be a reason.
With the minister.
With the minister, yeah. But, you know, on issues that has to do with governance, because I recollect that from the response of Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, he even said that they gave a approval for the layback on Oroshoki, on
he listed
the management of
several
the
areas where
street
they have
lights, you know.
of
no,
course.
I think those are communication,
Approvals.
yeah. But be that as it may, I think like what has played out is that, you know, there's communication gap between the two of them.
There's ego fight. I mean, there's no question about it at all. You look at the response of the minister, you read between the lines, it's very glaring.
They have
that,
a frosty relationship.
Yeah, it's a frosty relationship.
It's very clear.
And you don't think at some point, probably the hierarchy of the party or I don't know, has to intervene, you know, to break the ice? Because whether you like it or not, you just can't allow this to continue.
Well, the truth of the matter is that this development is an indictment on the party. We must admit that fact. And it calls to question our conflict resolution mechanism, either in the family or in our institutions, that they are very, very weak. Because we cannot take away an inescapable truth that in human relationship, they are bound to be conflict. They are bound to be misunderstanding. So it behoves on us to reawaken or to reinvigorate our dispute or conflict resolution mechanism in such a way that even before those things arise, we are able to block them so that, you know, it doesn't degenerate. Because like what has happened now, it's lack of a communication gap. It's, you know, it's communication gap that has come up to play. And, you know, if we had this mechanism in place, even at the party, it could have, you know, been easily sorted out, you know, quietly, and, you know, things will have, you know, gone on to normal. But what it shows is that even the party itself is not a united house, you know, with regards to its promises to Nigerians.
That's
and
true.
for us, it is, you know, it is worrisome.
Now, Senator Jimmy, thank you very much for coming on the program, and thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us. Let's just hope they're able to resolve this. But we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, I'll still be talking to someone else on this same issue before we wrap up the program. Stay with us. Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on DEJI360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.